Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me for another episode of our AEW New Era Dark. We have been doing this for a couple weeks now. It's been kind of fun. Some people are talking about maybe doing some storylines to kind of flesh out Dark a little bit and give us some ideas, and I think it's definitely a good idea. We kind of do a little bit of that in this episode with Lance Archer here, because I kind of want to start to position him in a storyline in the future. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use Dark Elevation as either a way to kind of continue some storylines in very minor ways, or to start to prep for future storylines that we can kind of fire when we want to. And Lance Archer is one of those guys that it's cool look, big menacing gimmick, and he kind of fell to the wayside on AEW in real life, and is sort of a guy that we kind of forget about from time to time. And I think it's time to give him a small run, to do something with. So for now, we're going to give him some matches on Dark, see who he really jives with, and see how we can springboard that into a storyline on Dynamite itself. So that's sort of the game plan today. We also have some matches with Ruby Soho and a promo with Lena. That's primarily to try to build up this Ruby Soho feud and hopefully get Lena to where we need her to be. Because obviously Nia Jax we need to have at star quality. So that's sort of the goal here. We give Fuego a match. Do similarly the same kind of thing for us here. So backstage stuff, I kind of wanted to talk about what's going on with the channel. You guys noticed that I was off a week and I kind of didn't post anything, and that was primarily because I did something stupid, and I ended up getting myself a new gaming laptop. I had a real rudimentary one from a couple years ago that I grabbed, and honestly I probably should have just invested in a better one, because it's from the start it was not doing what I wanted it to do. It was okay, but it wasn't really great at editing. It wasn't really great at doing a lot of things, especially when filmed. So it could play games, but it really struggled when I wanted to stream something, when I wanted to film something, and there was a whole bunch of host of problems with it. 2020 was a real bad year for a lot of people, and 2021 was a really weird year, and it was a weird year for me because I ended up kind of moving up the ranks in my day job, and getting into a position of a little more financial security, which is always nice. And I wanted to kind of splurge a little bit. So I ended up deciding to really get a really nice laptop to start to expand the channel a bit. So I got a Legion 5i, I believe is what it was. It was really kitted out, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Got a 3070 RTX card in it. It's stupid. It's real stupid. But it's a lot of fun. One of the things I can do with it, though, is I can really start to expand on streaming with it, editing more, and playing some more games that aren't necessarily TEW. So I've always wanted to add more to the channel, a little bit more wrestling games. I would love to check out Fire Pro and do a series on it. I would love to stream a little bit more for both TEW and otherwise, and it wasn't really something I could do. Now I can. So going forward into January, that's going to be kind of the goal, is to start to slowly bring some other things to the channel that interest me. I like to play games creatively, and so there's some of those games that tell interesting stories I like to branch off into, as well as some good wrestling stuff that I want to dive into and take a broader look into that I wasn't able to do so in the past, but now I can with this. So that was why there was a bit of a delay, because I had to get everything onto the new laptop, and then there was issues with TEW, and then I had to re-download it and convert the saves. The saves weren't right, and I had to go back and forth between both laptops, and it was a whole ordeal. The movie studio wasn't working right. And so there was a whole host of problems where I had to basically rebuild a lot of my infrastructure, and I'm not even sure if it's really all the way there yet. So there was a delay. I just didn't have time to record, and I just couldn't do it, and so I just put it off, and here we are. That's what it is. It just is what it is. But I'm happy with where we're at now, and we're gonna go forward with it. So I apologize about that. Also saw your comments about what we want to do with whether we want to have the um the negative trait on or off again about being left off the show. And it seemed very mixed. A lot of people were really against it. A lot of people were really for it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I think we're going to kind of let that linger for a couple more episodes as we kind of figure it out. A lot of great points brought up on both ends about whether it's worth doing or not, and whether it's one, realistic or realistically implemented, and two, whether it provides an interesting challenge or not. So there's some debate, and I kind of want to see more of your debate. So talk to me in the comments. I'm listening. Join the Discord and talk about it too. Would be great if you wanted to join in there. And I tend to respond more in the Discord than I do in the comment section. So if you kind of want to go back and forth on it, I would love to hear your ideas on whether it makes sense to bring it in. I'm still on the fence, and I still kind of leaning towards maybe adding it. But there's some really, really well-informed opinions on why maybe it would be detrimental to the save. So I kind of want to still hear it out and see how you guys feel about it. I still feel dirty about turning it off, though, to be honest. All right. Anyways, let's get on to the show. Let's see what we got going on Dark Elevation for this week. So we started off with a Fuego del Sol match. Does okay. 43, Bobby Fish do not click at all. Bobby Fish was protected here, but he was not super thrilled about having a loss otherwise. So we kind of talked him off the ledge about it. Fuego wins with a surprise roll-up, kind of protecting Bobby Fish a little bit, trying to provide a little bit of more credibility for Fuego, that he's got that sort of momentum building up, even if it's a cheap win. He maybe wouldn't have been able to do this head-to-head squarely, but he ended up kind of getting Bobby in a quick decision and ended up working for him. So 43, not horrible. Fuego does have a groundswell of support, which is what we're kind of working with. Afterwards, Fuego celebrates his win, and MJF comes out on Dark to just berate him a little bit. Nothing really story focused, just sort of there to berate him, say you suck, right? Just to kind of continue to build that up with a storyline, gain heat for it. It's a cheap way to do it, but it makes sense. We got FTR versus some local jobbers. No. Samurai del Sol and Mascara Dorado. Why? I don't know. We just wanted an FTR win, and I thought it'd be interesting to see how these guys perform if we want to bring Samurai del Sol into the mix. So I kind of wanted to see how, just like in Real Dark, you bring local talent out. You see who's in the pool, see how they do. Oh, didn't do bad. 43 for Mascara, and Samurai del Sol had 47. Not horrible. All things considered, you could build that up. That's maybe not a bad idea in the future to bring them in some capacity, or at least bring him in some capacity. FTR, though, ultimately defeat them. A 9-minute and 52-second match. Cash Wheeler gets the pin with a big rig. 54, not too bad. We got Ruby Soho versus Tay Conti, giving Ruby Soho a win to help build her up for her inevitable loss to Lena, aka Nia Jax. The face turn hint is getting a poor reaction because she's not great at that. So we kind of have a weird situation where we got a weird face heel problem going on, and that's probably going to hurt us, but I don't think we can move Ruby face, but I don't know. Maybe we keep her heel and we move her into a Kylie Ray feud or something like that. This is 46. It's not great. Afterwards, Lena comes out, or actually, Ruby cuts a promo on Lena. Says she's not afraid of her. Bigger they are, the harder they fall. Lena shows up to kind of stare her down, kind of just building that storyline a little bit here. We advance the storyline. We don't gain any heat, but we're just trying to kind of maintain it a little bit here. Gets to 49. We got a promo, as we talked about Lance Archer here. Jake cuts a promo, says that Lance Archer has had an abysmal 2020 and has been forgotten, but you should not forget monsters, because in the darkness they only grow stronger, and that he is now on a quest for retribution, and all those in his way will fall. It's a 57, very good. We build up the beginning of this feud, and for now, I think this feud's going to lead us to Pillman and Archer. So we start the storyline. Lance Archer's in amazing form, which is great to hear. He's got a 56, very good. Pillman has a 41. It had a decent reaction for the crowd, had subpar wrestling. Lance Archer ends up getting pinfall with a blackout on Pillman. 9 minutes and 56 seconds. I think we maybe have a bit of a minor quick feud and then build him into somebody else. I think we need a big hoss Lance Archer, maybe against a powerhouse Hobbs or something like that, Brian Cage or something. I don't know. Let me know who you think we should build Lance Archer into having a feud with on AEW Dynamite or Rampage. So let me know. The show itself did 50. Not bad. For Dark Elevation, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so that was pretty damn good. I'm fairly happy with it. So going through some behind the scenes stuff, because that's what this episode's about. We got an opportunity that I haven't talked about on the main episode, but hopefully we will see here. We have Mia Yim, who we had under not contract, but we had her as a local worker on the Battle Royal on Winter's Coming. Should be able to get her in a contract. We have to renegotiate Anthony Bowen's contract. We also are trying to get contract bids on Charlotte Flair and Paige, who are both available. So I think both will be very strong additions to our women's roster. Andrade says, thank you for considering Charlotte Flair. You can see what the rival bid is. It does look like that they are moving up on it. 64.72. We got 65. We should look at probably what our finances are in terms of our contracts. Who is the top payer? I think we got wiggle room for a bit, because I would consider her probably a Christian or a John Moxley level higher. I know that sounds wild, but I think it's true. I know there's a lot of Charlotte hate on the internet these days, but in terms of both our booking and probably in the real world, in terms of pure popularity and notoriety, I think it's hard to deny how impactful the Four Horsewomen in WWE are, and how important they would be to grab. So I would not want to let that slip under any potential option. We would want to try to win her over at all costs. I would pretty much move mountains to get her. We're already giving her a 50% cut. This here is considering both offers, so we're within both our offers range, but I would not be shocked if she goes with them first. I'd be willing to jump up to 68,000. I'm also willing to do something dangerous, like maybe giving creative control. It'd be risky, but it could be worth it. The rival offer is 35% merch cut, 20% per event. I think we can match that. I don't think that's a big deal. We are giving her a signing bonus. They are not. Ironclad signing bonus. Whatever is needed, and no intended role. We are saying that she would be one of our icons, which would be true. She would easily be a person that Britt Baker would lose the belt to and would become a top heel belt holder easily. So let's see if Tony will let us do this. Just have to start signing unless a better offer comes in your future. Okay. Tony seems okay with it. Tony's not happy with us right now, so that's always a problem. Ray Phoenix is back. Cool. So we got those contracts down there that we're kind of working on. In addition to that, like I said, Paige might be an option that we can grab. That could be a good gatekeeper for us. That could be interesting. We'll have to see how her performance is. But anyways, that's it for me today. Thank you for hanging out with me on this episode of Dark. Ran a little bit longer than most of them, so sorry. But we had a lot to talk about in the backstage world of AEW New Era. I will see you guys for the next episode of Dynamite shortly. Should be up early this week. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.